The Trump transition continues to advance, with the president-elect naming Liberty Energy CEO Chris Wright to lead the Department of Energy. This is Biden's EPA announces a last-ditch effort, charging the first-ever methane tax for emissions by oil and gas companies over the next 3 years. Here to weigh in is Power the Future founder, Daniel Turner. Daniel, thanks for joining us this morning. First off, let's talk about this new fee that Biden's rolling out in the midnight hour of his administration. I think it's coming through the EPA. And we've got a graphic here. We're talking $900 per metric ton in 2024, and then it jumps all the way up to $1,500 per metric ton in 2 years by 2026. Now, this was a part of the, I believe this was one of the big, I believe it was the Inflation Reduction Act, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And it's just now getting enacted. Biden's doing it with a couple months left in office, and it's going to be pretty burdensome for our oil and gas production. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a tax not on methane as much as it's a tax just on natural gas. And if you have natural gas in your home, you're going to pay more starting next year unless this is repealed. And it was part of the Inflation Reduction Act. So there is a mandate on Congress with having both control of both chambers. There is a mandate on the Republican Congress to get this repealed very quickly. But you have to ask the Biden administration. The Inflation Reduction Act is 2 years old. You waited until you lost the White House and you lost the Senate to then conveniently roll out the implementation of this tax. So this is just the final kick in the teeth of an angry Biden administration who sees their green agenda slowly disappearing from the American landscape.
Yeah, so, President Trump names Chris Wright, who's oil and gas executive, to be the administrator of the EPA. To me, that's kind of almost like let's go in the opposite direction. We're going to do everything different than the Green New Deal policies that this administration's had. Do you think this, when you stack that with Lee Zeldin, that EPA, Energy Director of Energy, Secretary of Energy for Wright, but when you put Lee Zeldin as EPA administrator on top of that, and now you've kind of started this trifecta of folks that are going to, I guess, make gas cheaper. I mean, is that the end goal? Is it possible?
Yeah, you can see the smile on my face. Like, these are really exciting times for this industry, and there's a lot to look forward to. This is a crazy statistic, but it's true. Chris Wright, who is wonderful, by the way, I've had the chance to speak with him on a number of panels and at conferences. Fantastic. Chris Wright will be the first energy secretary in history who has actually worked in the energy industry. I mean, that's how our government works. We have hired historically doctoral candidates and Harvard, law graduates, and those are all lovely people. But we've never hired someone who actually has worked in the industry. And so to have a CEO who knows all of the red tape, all of the obstacles, all of the cooperation that industry needs from government to thrive, to have an actual CEO in this position shows a huge shift in how President Trump is going to run government. And that's got to be really exciting for the American people.
Yeah, I'm sure the folks down in Houston are excited to see liquid natural gas get mainstream again. And all the folks up in the Plain States probably are happy to, maybe they won't have so many windmills popping up. But hey, listen, thanks for joining us, and we'll see how it turns out.
Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, Daniel.